Retiring before 59 and a half. All right, so first and foremost, my friends, you don't need to wait until you're 59 and a half to retire. Just FYI. I was talking to a guy the other day, who's ready to hang it up. And he's 58. He says, and I said, why don't you just hang it up now? You can. You're financially ready to do it. He goes, but I'm not 59 and a half. I said, oh, yeah, you don't have to be. You don't have to be at all. He said, really? I said, yeah. I mean, I retired, quote unquote, when I was 47 to start my own business. All right, so now his thing is pretty interesting. We'll just say he works at GE. So he's 58, all right? So the first question is, well, where do I get income from? Because I'll be penalized if I take money out of my 401k. I said, remember, it won't be because there is an exception to the 10%. I got Finney here. Because Finney is a knucklehead, and trying to walk both Finney and Pablo at the same time will rip your arms off. And I already had rotator cuff surgery. So Calvin's walking Pablo, and I'm walking Finney because, trying to get this dog to work it, to wear him down, because he is nothing but a teenage boy, this guy. Hey, Rooster. Hi, Red Pill Rooster. Red Pill Rooster. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying. So he's if you separate from service, you're in this case General Electric. He doesn't work at General Electric. I'm just using that for example. If you separate from service and you're after the age of 54, all right, so you're 55 and above, and you leave your retirement plan at General Electric, you can take money out, sans penalty. Sans is what us sophisticated types. That's what we say because we speak French. That means without. Au revoir, sans, and that's about it that I know for French. All right, anyway, so he can take money out of his 401k because he's over the age of 54, and he's going to leave his money at General Electric. He can take money out of his 401k without penalty. Now, it'll still be subject to taxation, mind you, right? So, you pooping? What are you doing, bro? Yeah. What are you doing here? Sniffing? Sniffy Joe? Sniffy Finn? But it'll be without penalty. Now, the issue that we have to contend with a lot is some companies are very restrictive on allowing you to have access to your money. Some companies say, no, it's one and done. You can't just say, hey, man, I need a check for $20,000. Company says, no, it's all or nothing. You get the whole thing or you get nothing, but you can't have distributions other than the entire amount. In fact, some companies, pretty big companies too, do that. It kind of ticks me off. So in this case, the guy says, oh man, what do I do? Well, it's pretty easy. In this case, you tell General Electric, send me a check. But Josh, he's under the age of 59 and a half. He'll be penalized and taxed. No, what happens is that GE will send a check to him for we'll just say $200,000, all right? And they're going to send a 1099 to the IRS stating that he took 100% distribution from his 401k. He's got 60 days. I can't remember if it's date of receipt of the check or date of issuance. I can't remember. To put that money into an IRA to avoid taxes and penalties. This is called an indirect rollover. Indirect rollover. So a direct rollover is simply GE is directly sending your assets to an IRA, a qualified plan. That's called a direct rollover. GE's directly sending them your money. An indirect rollover is they're sending it to you first. And then you have 60 days in which to forward that money to the IRA provider. That's called an indirect rollover. Now, what happens in this case, pretty simple, is GE says, look, man, we're not going to let you take distributions other than the one. We'll send you $200,000 and we don't give a hell what you do with the money. You're like, all right, we'll just say I need $30,000 for simplicity. So go to your local bank, you deposit that money into your checking account, all right? You write a check for $170,000 and forward that to your Vanguard IRA. Or in this case, it's probably even easier just to forward that, open an IRA at the bank, frankly. So basically what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I need $30,000 to live on before I'm 59 and a half and I get access to my money without penalty. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my 200,000 bucks, I'm going to deposit in my checking account. I'm going to take $170,000 and put that into an IRA at the bank, just for simplicity. The bank will then send to the IRS, I think it's a 5498. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this 8606. What that form is, it tells the IRS how much you've actually deposited into your account, your IRA account. And so basically the IRS will say, hey, you had 200,000 coming out, i.e. through via 1099 through General Electric. You had 170,000 going in. It's either 5498 or 8606. I can't remember. So if anyone of you guys know, put in the comments. So you're short 30,000 bucks. You're like, yep. And they're going to say, okay, you got to pay tax on 30,000 bucks. You're like, yep. And you're going to say that's 100% right because I took 30,000 out as a distribution from my account, in which to because I was post 55 or post 54 years old, and I took that money from my employer. All right, that would be the way to do it. Now, this is not tax advice. You need to confirm that works for you. I'm just telling you that is an option. I've heard this work. If it doesn't work, you can't blame me. I'm just telling you right now. That would be a way around it. Obviously, tax advice is not what I'm giving you. I'm just giving you tax awareness that this might be something that could work. And it makes sense. I mean, post 55, you took a distribution from your money, you kept 30,000. We know that for a fact that is, well, I hate to say for a fact because it makes it seem like I'm giving you tax advice. We know for most likely, because you're post 55 and you kept the money in your 401k and you took a distribution, that $30,000 that did not make its way to an IRA is considered as a qualified exception to the 10% penalty. We know that. Now, again, will that be specific to you? I can't say that for sure. I just can't because I just don't know. I imagine it will be, but you'll have to dive into that with your own tax guy. All right, part two of that, we also know that the $170,000 you forward to the IRS or forward to the IRA provider, as long as you have 60 days to do that, that money will go in as a deposit into your IRA, and thus will be free of 10% penalty and taxation because you did an indirect rollover. Stuff like this happens all the time, just FYI. This isn't very fancy. It's not, oh my goodness, that's tax, man. You know, it's not, this isn't fancy stuff. It's just pretty simple. But now, hopefully, your employer avoids all that and says, yeah, we'll give you a check for 30,000 bucks. That way you're done. You say, okay, the employer says, here's a check for 30,000 bucks. You got to pay tax on it, but because you're over the age of 54 and you kept the money in the 401k, you don't have to pay a penalty on it. That would be my only concern, frankly, is because the money is no longer in the 401k. But I mean, see, even that doesn't make, I mean, think about it. Again, I'm not telling you how to deal with the tax man, but think about it from a reality perspective. You say to IRA, you say to the GE, send me a check for 200,000 bucks. I'm post 54 years old, and the money is still in and still my 401k. They're just cashing me out. All right. IRS says that's fine. It's pre-tax. It's not penalized because of those qualified exception rules. All right. We know that. So why would it be any different if you were to send 170,000 of that to an IRA? It doesn't make any sense. So again, it's just logically speaking. I get the tax code is not all that logical, but logically speaking, you should be just fine. But again, don't sue me, bro. Don't tase me, bro, because I'm not your tax person. But anyway, just keep that in mind. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half. Ideally, again, the GE in this case will allow you to take multiple distributions. And then you can avoid all this crap to begin with. But yeah, it's well worth it too. All right. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks.